everyone. Today we are talking about data visualization and statistics. Specifically, we are talking about how to visualize a specific kind of data, what's so-called categorical data. And by the way, these slides are taken from a book called Introduction to Statistics and Data Analysis by Roxy. If I remember the name, Roxy, Pick, and two others, you can look it up. The first chart we are talking about is the double bar chart. When to use this kind of chart? Well, with the categorical data. And how to construct this kind of charts? First, it's constructed like bars, but with two or more groups being compared. Groups being compared. Why groups? Because it's categorical data plotting. We must use relative frequencies on the vertical axis. Why we must use relative frequencies? Soon we will see why. And the third step, we must include labels to differentiate between these bars. So we have here we have an example of a review. In this review, they asked almost 12,700 students, high school students. They asked them, ideally, how far from home would you like the college you attend to be? And they also asked 3,000, almost 3,000 parents on how far from home would you like the college your child attends to be. And here in this table we have their response. First, you notice here we have two groups, parents and students. And these two groups, we want to compare between them. We want to create a comparative bar chart with this data. And also notice here we have divided this out for another four groups. One group, those who responded with the less than 250 miles, and from 250 to 500 miles, and so on. What should you do first? The first, you should obtain the relative frequency. How you obtain this relative frequency? By dividing the frequency by the total number of students. You take the number of the students who replied with the less than 250 miles, and you divide this number by the total number of students, and you will get this number. And the same for parents. Then we have this double chart bar. Notice here on the y-axis, the vertical axis, we have relative frequency. Here we have the two groups, students and parents. What does this graph show about this or the ideal distance college should be from home? Well, we can see here from the first group here that most of the students and parents prefer to be close to each other. The second kind of bar we will talk about is what's so-called segmented or stacked bar charts. When to use it? The same as the double bar charts when we have categorical data. And how to construct this kind of bars? First, we must calculate relative frequencies, the same, and we draw a bar representing 100% of the group. Then we divide this bar into segments. Each segment corresponds to the relative frequency of each category. So we have this the same table from the previous example, and we already have our relative frequency. So let's go and draw the first bar that represents 100% of the students who answered the survey. So here we have the first bar for students, and the second, we next divide the bar into segments, and notice here isn't 100% of the students, and then we do the same for parents. We draw our bar and we divide it into segments, each segment corresponding to the relative frequency from this table. So notice that this segmented bar displays the same relationship between opinions of students and parents from the previous one, but this bar is more concise, at least in my opinion. The third kind of categorical data chart is pie chart or circle chart. How to construct this kind of chart? First, we draw a circle to represent the entire data set. Then we calculate the size of each slice, and how to calculate this size by multiplying relative frequency by 360 degrees, and we use labels to mark each slice. We use lines to differentiate between borders of slices. So we need to use labels or comments to describe each slice. Here we have an example of another review. They have asked senior executives of companies on how many mistakes in someone's resume that would make them not consider a job candidate. And here we have the result. We already have given the relative frequency, so we don't need to obtain it. We don't need the total number. So let's go and create a pie chart for this data. First, we draw a circle to represent the entire data set. Then we calculate the size of each slice. For example, those who answered they only accept one mistake here are 40%. Two mistakes are 36%, and so on. Clearly, what does this charts tell us about the number of mistakes occurring in a resume before the applicant would not be considered for a job? Well, I can see now why I haven't got a job yet.